Today I'm here with multi-award winning S-worker Evie Rees, and we're going to be talking a little bit about the relationships that we have with our daddies. A quick disclaimer before we begin: the content that I produce for this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only, so if you are not the age of consent in your country, kindly click away now. If not, hi, I'm Jupiter and this is Evie.
Hi.
And I am a disabled queer sex worker who has many years of experience in the online sphere. Please be aware that I only have experience in the online sphere rather than full service, and I will only be talking about what I know and my experiences. And as always, there has been no sponsor for today's video. It's all our own opinions and experiences. So, our dads.
I guess
dear
we
old man.
wanted to have this talk, I guess, because there's a lot of stigma, or at least stereotypes, around how did you put it earlier?
Fatherless
ethos.
As I believe what
Fatherless
TikTok
ethos.
comments put
Yeah.
up for any woman
Yep.
who wears some makeup.
Yep.
Any sort of e-girl style.
Yeah.
So we wanted to actually talk about our fathers and just shed some light on how sometimes that's not always the case, and we can have very functional and healthy relationships with our whole families, not only our dads.
And it's super important to make it normal as well. Like, I would like this to be the norm. I would like us sitting earlier talking about our dads was so freaking cute and wholesome, and I would like everyone's experience, SW or not, to have that with their dads. So yeah, trying to make this the norm instead.
As so many people have said before, S-work is just another form of work, and you know, it's not unhealthy to know what your child does for work, and even if it's something that you perhaps wouldn't have chosen yourself, you can still support your child in their choices and their path that they've chosen.
And there's also no different from any other job where you might not necessarily want to know the details. It's like, I don't want to know the details of my dad's job because it's boring. So it's not even like, you know, you have to get into the nitty-gritty of it, because you don't. You can just, it's just a job. So you just talk about it like it is, I guess. Yeah.
What is my favourite thing about my dad? My dad, he's a bit of an older guy, and I think that would often lead people to believe that his views are going to be older, like old-fashioned views. But my dad was so desperate to be a hippie. He just missed the hippie era. He was so gutted about not having long hair. And he hasn't always been, but he is now a pretty open-minded guy, and has definitely always been a bit weird and quirky, and likes to go against other people's expectations. So I think, you know, yeah, that just makes him quite an inspiration to me, because he's never ashamed to be himself.
Yeah.
And he's also never ashamed to keep learning.
Yeah, that's a
and I really
massive
admire
one.
that.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your favourite thing about your dad?
It's just gonna be like, same, but no, the always learning thing is massive, because it's like, just because he thought something or, you know, had a certain view of something 10 years ago doesn't mean that he does now, because he's actually open to listening to his kids, which is amazing. But yeah, they're always willing to learn things, or always willing to listen and change. Massive, massive. For all family members, I think, for all people anyway. But yeah, probably that, and his sense of humour, because he's funny as fuck. Sorry, am I allowed to swear on your YouTube?
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm not ashamed about swearing.
Cool.
I'm not monetized anyway.
Yay.
Why would I be? I'm an S-worker.
Give me the fucking money! Give us the fucking money! Anyway.
What do I think my dad's favourite thing about me is?
Yeah.
I would say probably my bravery. I guess I don't really see myself as a brave person, because I'm just living every day as it comes, I'm just living my life. But I think when my dad would maybe compare to himself, it'd be like, you know, that's something he can't even like imagine going through, because he has said that to me. Whilst he doesn't, you know, fully understand about being like transgender, he doesn't have to understand it to support me and to be a kind person, not even just a kind father.
Yeah.
So I would say he probably thinks I'm pretty brave just for living my truth. I find that there are quite a lot of people do think that. Yeah, because I also know it was a bit of a anxiety point for him at some points. Like when I was first coming out, he wasn't concerned about like me and me changing. He was concerned about how other people were going to start treating me. But yeah, I think since just like powering through and living year after year and finding my circle of friends, finding a job that I really enjoy, I think he's like, you know, wow, he did it. Like,
Proud.
Yeah, I think he is proud of me.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he said that to me.
Yeah.
My dad has told me that he's proud of me.
Same. And if your dads haven't, then tell them that they should. Tell them that you're proud of them, and then maybe they'll be like, oh, yeah, I've never said that to you before.
Maybe maybe no one's ever said it to him before.
Yeah.
Daddy with daddy issues.
See, but this is with my daddy. My daddy's parents never said they were.
Yeah, actually, thinking on it, my dad's dad in particular wasn't very nice.
Yeah, my dad's dad was a cunt.
The best father model. 0 to 100.
Sorry, I was like, you said you're not monetized. I can sort. Sorry, he was not very nice. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that's maybe contributed to our fathers now being like, with their kids, they're being like, I don't want to be.
They're doing it right
how
this
my
time.
dad was. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a massive thing because I think a lot of people who have kids go into it, if they've had shitty upbringings, go into it like, I'm not going to be like my parents. And he's very much not, and you can tell that he's actively tried not to be as well. So it's nice, yeah. Oh wait, I didn't even do the my one. Oh, ooh, I like that I found these questions and didn't actually think about what I was gonna say. Favorite thing about me, I think his favorite thing about me would be my my drive and my sense of self and my I was gonna say stubbornness, but like stubbornness in seriously just being me. And it's a hell of a lot easier to be aggressively me than it is for a lot of other people because obviously I'm cisgendered, and for the most part when I'm out in public you can't tell that I like titties. So it's quite, you know, aside from the aggressive pinkness, it is a lot easier for me to be myself. But I know he's proud of me for doing what I want to do. And like the S-work side of things, right? Like that's something that was not expected, you know, but it's like being proud of me for sticking to that because I know I wanted to do it. And not only doing it, but like putting my all into it and like really making it a career. And yeah, so I think yeah, that's probably his favorite. I think it's cute.
Cute. What does your dad do for work?
What does your we'll shake it up. I'll go first.
Yeah, what does your dad do for work?
Well, that's a good question. He does health and safety things. He's a health and safety advisor, I think. No, that might have been his job title like 10 years ago. I'm not sure. He does basically, he does everyone else's jobs for them and doesn't get paid enough for it, is what he does. But he's a very, very, very smart man, and both of my parents are very, very smart, sciencey smarts. So yes, he does smart boy things. And on the side he makes music, so which he will be doing full time. I'm saying this like he's watching it. He'll be doing it full time soon, won't you? Yes.
That's exciting.
Oh, he better be, because he needs to have a break from work. But yeah, and I'll have to play you some of his stuff later.
Yeah,
because it's really
I
good.
would love to.
It's really good.
My dad is not sciencey smart, but is in a band called, yeah, he's been in bands his whole life.
So we both got music daddies.
Yeah, my dad took an early retirement,
Mm-hmm.
but he used to be a college teacher and he taught photography. And he did that for ages.
Mm.
Yeah, right up until he decided he had enough and he wanted to take retirement, whether it was ready or not. My dad's quite like a stubborn, like true to himself, autistic individual. So yeah, he took early retirement and now he does like just his music and sort of art things, because he lives by a beach, so he collects driftwood and he'll like make driftwood lamps and shelves and all sorts. He taught himself like LED lighting and sort of fine electronics and stuff for his hobbies, like model building. But yeah, it really can still apply to his art now, and he like sells his art and plays guitar and bass guitar in some bands.
Just get our daddies together to do music things.
That would actually be super cute.
Awesome.
So my dad's reaction to me coming out as a sex worker, it was, so at this time he already knew that I was trans and gay, but I was in my final year of university and we needed to do a final solo performance, and it could be about anything we wanted, and I decided to create a piece called From My Bedroom, where I actually talked about the fact that I became an S worker in order to support myself through this whole course and get to this final exam performance. And my dad did intend to go, so I thought, oh my god, I'm gonna have to tell him. Otherwise he's gonna be like completely shocked on the night, and that's like more anxiety I don't need.
Yeah.
So I remember I was in the rehearsal hall and it was like a few weeks before the show, and I told my friend Jo, I've got to call him, this is it. Then I was holding her hand and I'd already started crying as I was calling him, and I told him, I was like, I do online S work, that's what my performance is about. And he said, oh, cool. All right, sweetie. Yeah, you staying safe? I'm like, yeah, only online stuff. I had like a serious conversation with Mum, because she's quite an anxious person. Yeah. It's like, oh, that's really cool. Nice one. And that was that. And then he didn't even come and see the performance in the class.
Fucking hell.
But
Amazing.
I had a really nice, successful story.
Yeah.
of telling him about my sex work.
Yeah. Mine is freakishly similar.
Yeah.
At least the reaction side of it, yeah. Because I'd done it for a little bit before. I'd done it for quite a while, but it was it was like a touchy subject because I'd done it secretly at home, so I was doing webcamming like in my room while I was living with them.
Yes, oh my god.
So it was like
starting on the webcams.
Yeah, and then them thinking that I'm, taking year and going to uni and like doing all this lot, and then it was sort of like I decided at that point that I wanted to do it full time. Well, I already knew I wanted to do it full time. I just felt like I had to get a base of work to be able to prove that I could do it full time. I know that sounds silly, but it was almost like if I can prove that it's a legitimate career, that's the first hurdle, and then I can get over all of the everything else. But no, so I wrote them a letter. I actually wrote out a letter, explaining everything to my parents, and my mum's reaction was very anxious, like classic motherly, oh, you're gonna end up dead in a ditch, and I'm like, so all of the questions like, are you safe? Are you happy doing what you're doing? Are you just asking about everything? But
no one's pressuring you to do this, right?
But Dad's reaction was pretty much, alright, as long as you're happy though, cool. Literally.
Yeah.
Exactly the same. They're
disturbingly chill.
Nice.
And I didn't see part of him die in his eyes or anything. Like it was, it's not a big deal. We've talked about my work since, and it's fine. Like he's happy when I'm doing well. And it's not at the same time. He really respects like my privacy and everything. you know, it's not like deep dive conversations of what my daily, you know, what pair of socks I've sent in the mail today. But yeah, you know, he cares. He's a father. He wants to know if work's going okay or if I'm having a crap time.
Yeah, and it's like, I think it's nice them knowing as well. Like, I always think about the times where I've had, like, moments in work that I've, like, celebrated over, and if he hadn't have known, then he wouldn't have been able to share that and also, like, be proud of me for that as well. So it's like, I'm so glad that I did tell them when I did, because then they've been able to be part of, like, my journey into... like where I am now.
I suppose when you get awards as well, is that like a big...
So when I got my award in Miami, it was like 8 p.m. in the evening, but it was 4 in the morning, and my dad wakes up for work at like 3:30, so I called him first. I was like, Daddy!
Oh my god, oh, that's so special.
Yeah.
Oh, I will win an award.
Yeah, you will.
I've been an MV King finalist, Trans King finalist 3 times.
Oh. Oof.
3 times in that top 5. Come on.
Yeah, but that's bullshit anyway. You'd have better luck, XBiz, because we'll get you. Oh yeah, we're gonna get those awards. Yeah.
The funniest thing that he's done.
This one I did put down because I do actually have a really good one for this.
Excellent. Go ahead. I'll have to.
So.
A little thing.
Because it's recent, so it's easier. Because I think when you try and think of the funniest thing somebody's done, it's like there's too many things, especially if they're a funny person. But no, most recently, my dad covered his entire torso in semi-permanent tattoos of my sister's face. And a K-pop star as well on his back that was like this big, her and a K-pop artist. But his whole front was just covered in her faces.
That's insane.
I'm gonna
Did he
find
do like
it,
a big reveal?
Yes.
Like...
He said, so he lied and he was like, so when we were on holidays, I got a tattoo, and we were like, you got a tattoo? Finally, and he was like, ready, and then takes it, and we were like, ooh, the fuck?
Oh my god.
I've never got so close to nearly peeing myself in the middle of the room. Ooh. Yeah, it was, I'll try and find it and show you, because it was the most hysterical thing I have ever witnessed. And they didn't even come off for like, he had to fully, they're like the stick-on tattoos. So
oh my god.
It's not like you could just wipe them off afterwards.
Those ones that only like deteriorate over time in the shower.
Off.
Just have little bits of your sister's face, like all in...
all in his bed, just like covered in...
Oh my god.
Yeah.
That is hilarious. Where did he even get that idea from?
I don't know. He's a lunatic. I have no idea. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Funny things that my dad has done. My dad as a person, I find is a hilarious amalgamation of Homer Simpson and Uncle Buck by John Candy.
Uncle Buck,
especially Uncle Buck. Oh my god, the thing about take a little bit of chunk of your kneecaps off with the axe. That's very much my dad. He used to enjoy intimidating boyfriends I brought home as a teenager, and like test them on their handshake and just like silly stuff.
I have to intervene because when my daddy met my current partner, he actually put an axe in the trunk so he could do the Uncle Buck bit. And straight up, with the hat and everything, he got the fucking hat, and he did it, he did the whole bit, and we were like...
That's so good.
Oh, so...
That's so good.
Our daddies would get on.
They really would. I think they'd get along so well.
Yeah, that'd be cute.
Yeah. Otherwise, yeah, my dad's just a funny guy.
Yeah.
He likes to wear a bit of guy liner. Like sometimes, but he'll like be insistent about like guy liner. Sometimes he'll like paint like his last little hand nail red. I think it must be a reference to something or something like that.
I've seen people do that.
Sometimes he just has like a red nail. I'm like, okay. He loves wearing like what are they called in the UK? Because he's Canadian, so he calls them suspenders.
Braces?
Braces. He always likes to wear like braces and vests, but he has a whole collection of braces, like pigs with wings and like rainbow ones.
Amazing.
And British flag and Canadian flag. He's a real personality.
Stylish.
yeah, as an adult, I definitely like found it easier to actually tell him how I'm doing, and yeah, we have a closer relationship now than I think we did when I was a kid.
Mm. Yeah, me too. Or at least, like, we're like friendlier now, only because I think we're so similar that living together in a family situation, not the vibe. We're both too stubborn for that. Our tempers are too short for that. Yeah, no, don't tell me I did that thing. No, you can, no, no, it just doesn't work. But then now that it's like I've been living not with family for like 10 years now, so it's like you're in a completely different state of your life.
Yeah,
I'm a
moving
completely
out
different
makes it
person.
so different.
Yeah. And it's like, you actually miss them then, instead of being like, this fucking twat. And I'm like, oh, I miss it.
I suppose this is where we do have slightly separate backgrounds in that your parents are still together.
Yeah.
Whereas my parents separated when I was about 7, but they stayed very friendly with each other because, you know, they didn't want to traumatize the children. They were very considerate.
Yeah.
Though I did see my dad sort of every evening, and then sort of one day at the weekend, like sleepover sort of one day of the weekend, until I was about, I'd say, 16, 17 or so, and then he went to live at the coast. But yeah, so even though I guess yeah, no, actually the same thing with distance. Now I have a bit of distance from him. Really does make the heart grow stronger.
It
or whatever,
does.
or grow fonder, or
It does. Because that's what I was going to say. Because even if you love and care about somebody a whole bunch, sometimes you don't want to live with them. Like, I have plenty of friends who I adore who I could not handle living with. And that was literally we just didn't get along when I lived there a lot of the time because he pissed me off.
Yeah.
Like,
if you love someone, don't live with them, maybe.
yeah. It's like
Maybe.
it takes a certain kind. Like, yeah, I have a lot of people who I love, but only half of them, less than that, maybe like a quarter of them I could actually live with, I think. Yeah. I don't even have any more. What else do I need to say? Can close out. If you're going to be a daddy, be a good one.
Yeah, try and be a good one. I know we're very, you know, we're very lucky in that we have even a functionable relationship with our fathers. Obviously, there's a lot of people whose, you know, father maybe doesn't approve of their job or their lifestyle or life choices or whatever they blame it on. And perhaps you don't want their approval, and that's completely fine and valid too. If you have to try and, you know, get through life without like a born family like that, and have to find your own community and a chosen family, like, I can't imagine how difficult it is, but it's so valid if you don't want to be friends with your dad because he's a shitty person.
Yeah. Our dad, because your dad wasn't friends with his dad, right?
Yeah, you know.
Our dads weren't friends with their dads because they were shitty people.
They were shit dads. And that's okay if you have to cut yourself off from certain people for your own safety, then do it and find safety. I guess I wanted to share this conversation because not only to fellow like S workers who or just, you know, civilians who were wondering about like what did their dads think, but also to fellow men out there who, because it's going around a lot on these pipeline alt-right podcasts of what would you do if your daughter had an OnlyFans? What would you do? And they see this as a humiliating thing, and so toxic, and like an edge up, like I've got a one up on you. Oh, but your daughter's a whore.
It's like, you're a shit dad.
You're the man. Yeah, like, oh, they got daddy issues. You're the ones becoming the daddies.
You're the ones giving the issues.
You don't have to hate your child for becoming an S worker. Whether it's because it's a career that they really want to pursue, like us, or whether it's because they're just in a tight spot. You can still support them and let them know that you're there for them. And it's nothing shameful to love someone who is an S worker, because I guarantee you, even if you haven't realised, you are friends with someone who is an S worker.
Oh, yeah.
They just don't have the confidence to tell you.
And, like, hopefully something like this would make guys, whether they're dads or not, or just anybody, be the kind of people then who people would want to tell about these things and feel comfortable enough to. And just generally, yeah, like I said at the start, make it the norm. Make it the norm that daddies are supportive.
Normalise supportive daddies.
Yep. Because we don't have enough of them, but we are very, very fortunate that we do. And yes. But not to rub it in anybody's faces,
But not to
obviously.
rub it in anyone's
This
faces.
is a this
not to
is
brag.
I know, I feel like that sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this is like, it's not, everything's amazing. It's just because there are so many stereotypes of, obviously our dads have, just as soon as we told them what we do for a living, just completely cut us off. Like, it's like, no, that's not how it is, and that's not how it has to be. And we, just wanted to shed light on that, and also just compliment our daddies live on the internet.
Love you, Dad.
Love you, Daddy.
Alright, we can close with that shot.
That's cute. Ah, that was wholesome. I like that.